back to Kickin with. My name is Zac Holcomb. Today on episode 53, we've got Jacques Passailaigue.
What's up?
What's up, dude? How
How
are
we
you?
doing?
Good.
I have to talk into this thing, don't I?
No, you're good. It'll pick it up.
Okay.
Pick it up all around. Yeah, we're slowly evolving and becoming better and better here. So, trying to make it easier on everybody so you can just sit here and not have to think. You just ebb, flow, and go. So that's what we're doing, man. Look, no headsets now.
Wait, that's even is it even a podcast?
I know.
If you don't have headset.
I don't
know. Anyways, so
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll go back to it the next time we have you back. But thanks for coming out, man. Appreciate the dogs from Captain Corner.
Yeah, there we go.
Nothing
They were good, right?
Yeah, dude.
It can't be. Part of Captain's Corner, I think the lure is like the folks on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of brings you back. You never know what you'll see when you're about to walk in there. So it's kind of cool.
I know I got to work that into my rotation. I never it never made it into my rotation before we moved into the downtown, but
right.
I got to start getting up there. And
they've got a cool little spot. I went there for years, and somebody was like, "You ever eaten a hamburger?" I was like, "I thought they just did hot dogs."
Right.
I didn't realize they did hamburgers. So,
I've
never had one, just hot dogs. So
yeah, they got a fried chicken sandwich now too. Did you know that? And a BLT.
I don't know.
Do you do the BLT sandwich? Is that a thing for you?
I would. I've never eaten it there, but I don't. Yeah.
I get it at Lovex for breakfast sometimes. Like at a brunch, 10:30, 11:30. I get kind of hungry.
I do. Usually at Lovex, I'll do 2 eggs and
like the platter.
Oh yeah, all that kind of stuff. But if it's to go, it's.
Are you home fries in it?
No, I'm gonna do. I don't like the cubed potatoes.
Really?
I like shredded.
Oh, the shredded hash browns.
Kind of like Waffle House.
Yeah, the shredded hash browns. That's what we call it.
Yeah, I like hash. That when I think of hash browns, that's kind of what I think of. The shredded.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
The hash brown patty.
Chunky, the potato chunks. I like them, but it's just.
I got you.
Right.
I got you. I'd throw a little ketchup on them.
I'm going probably with grits over there, but if I had to do something to go at Lovex, it'd be the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich instead of the biscuit. So, yeah.
That's fair.
Steve's a good guy and a client, so there you go.
We walk over. I love going over there. We just walk over anytime and punch it out. I haven't been using the online app as much as I was before, so now they walk in and it's like Christina will start getting she's like she gets anxiety if she sees me standing there waiting because they're so used to me just walking in and grabbing and going. Yeah. And it's like, no, don't yell at everyone. Just calm down. Right. I just ordered. It's cool. Sometimes it's like they're running around and around.
They have an app.
Oh, they don't have an app technically, but if you can go on their website, you can pre-order and then you just walk in and grab it and go.
I did know that. Actually.
Yeah, you can do the delivery orders on there too. Actually,
I did not know that.
Only $12 delivery charge.
That's not bad.
Which for if you're getting catering, food, driving 20 minutes away, that's very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good little business.
Yeah, man, over there, you're making me hungry.
I know.
I'm actually going to King's later. They have Brian Hank. I was on the Brian Hank show this morning, and there's a fundraiser there. You get 10% of everything goes to
Cops Walk.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit that helps with the survivors of law enforcement killed in action, that kind of thing. So it's kind of neat. So
very cool. Yep, check that out. There's a little bit of that on the last episode with Liz, but that's tonight. I'm trying to think what else there was. There was something else that was coming up this weekend too that was really cool.
College football.
That's right. College football is starting. ECU at Michigan.
That is going to be.
Come on, ECU. We got my Pirates gear ready to go.
Ohio State guy here. Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting. I don't think the Pirates are going to pull that one out, though.
Yeah, no.
That'll be a hard one. But at least, it'll be a good road game. I think I'll put ECU on the map, hopefully get them some better players.
Yeah, it gets,
help build the program a little bit.
All the rich boosters get to go take a little
the Danny trip. Rices of the world.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he is going, so.
I think he is going as well. We talked to him in January, and we didn't get a full commitment on it. But I feel like I got a good enough commitment. I was rewatching it today to see how much we got him to commit to getting a tattoo if they do win.
Is he going to get a tattoo if they win?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we can talk him into it. He was talking about how he got he had 23 people or so with him to get the tattoos when the baseball team goes to Omaha.
Okay.
He said
that hadn't happened yet. So.
No, he said 7 outs away 2 years ago. But he said he was well, if ECU beats Michigan in the big house, he's just ready for the rapture. Just take him.
Just go.
So that's a whole different kind of tattoo, but
it's awesome. Excuse me
about that.
Those hot dogs are coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bradfest is in October. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Did you also see the other pop-up concert in the park?
I did see that.
Jay Lane and Tim are going to play.
Somebody's going to be using Pearson Park. That's awesome.
That's right. The stage, it won't be empty. It's going to be filled with a little band. So I was talking to Jeremy last night about that a little bit more, and he said it's set up with like the cycling thing that's coming through town. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be rolling through these cyclists or whatever, and there's going to be 800 cyclists in the park for the concert.
Dude.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
It's like a barbecue fest concert.
Like from motorcycle or bicyclist?
I think the technical term would be big wheel cyclist. Like the Lances. The Lance Armstrong.
Oh, right.
Jesse Harrison would probably have more of the like technical terms for it because he's into all that.
Dude, I don't know, man. I told Jesse one time I saw him doing that. I don't even want to drive my car 30 miles. And he rides a bike 30 miles.
I woke up the other day and
that's hard for me to. I don't even want to get in my car for that long.
No. Dude, the other day he posted one. I like woke up on Sunday and he had posted, already rode like 32 miles, an hour and 48 minutes, and on the way to church now. Showered and cleaned up on the way to church. And I was like, geez, dude, I'm just waking up. Yeah, this dude's killing it. So,
he's going after it, man. Uh-huh. He's got a good little business there.
Telling you.
His Big Orange Containers. He's got his son Noah's doing the
trucking stuff.
Yeah, towing services. So if your car gets broke down, call them. Mm-hmm. And he's obviously got Horizon RV. So if you need
a big breadwinner.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he makes it.
Yeah, we got him up. We got the Orange Containers up on the video ad boards.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Yes. So we do we love Big Orange.
Big fans of Big Orange.
Yeah. I will tell you this, man. Jesse's a good guy. My youngest son, Max, who you've met, he was able to, he loves RVs. And he's kind of a shy guy at times, but he was having a bad day. This is like last year. And I had to go to Goldsboro, and I stopped in the Grange to see Jesse just for a minute, just say hey. And he let Max kind of go through them and play, he likes to see all the stuff and all that, and it made his day better. So that was pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool.
It's a cool dad moment when you can share something like that with another human being.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
no, they're good people, man. We went out there. I went out to like shoot some like video stuff for like when we were throwing them on the ad board at first, and I think I maybe spent like 8 to 10 minutes actually doing work, and then I think I sat on the couch in the office and hung out for another like 45 minutes.
I love it.
That was great. It was
He'll be sitting there and the phone will be ringing, and I'm like, man, you need to get that. And he's like, no, they'll call back. If they really want to buy it, they'll call back. Man, I'm going to tell you, I love that. As a business owner, I got to pick up that phone, man. That drove me crazy. I wanted to pick it up for him and answer it, sell him an RV or two.
Just maybe see if they need a copier,
Golly. So, yeah, but he's got a good thing going out there. It's good folks.
Yeah, for sure. Good location, too.
So what's going on with you? How's life been with you?
Just been hanging out, kind of getting through the summer stuff, got the kids back in school. And we're like, so we had like an extended summer break. So we did like homeschool last year.
Oh, right.
So we had like a extended summer, but we're back in, they're back in. So they're starting to bring home like the cool new like sayings and stuff that they've learned from the other kids that are really disrespectful.
New stuff, yeah.
So that's awesome. We've really, been enjoying
what's
that.
up with that?
Yeah. But it is what it is. Yeah, they're kids. It's either they're
need
there
to
on YouTube. Right, that's what I told them.
Yeah.
I told them. But yeah, they socialize when they game. That's what I said.
It's
like a Zoom call. They're just still on COVID rules, but no, man, been chilling, been hanging out. We've been getting ready for the Bradfest thing too. Been doing some fulfillment stuff with some of the swag and the merch and everything, trying to help them keep like the website up and
that's awesome.
Get that going. So which is very cool. I just see like huge potential for Bradfest being like a major annual event. Like, I think it could be as big as Barbecue Fest. Easy.
Right. And you had, you have a guy that everybody really liked. I mean, no one could say anything bad about him. He was always there to help people out in the community, and had a pretty good thing going with Sugar Hill and Captain's Corner. I think they were involved in Rib Eyes in Greenville years ago.
Really?
So they've always been kind of entrepreneurs, him and Jackie. So very good people. And then I saw Jackie earlier this week at Captain's Corner, getting some hot dogs after the first day of school. Actually, took Max in there, and she said Lily, her daughter, is going to be starting a bakery right down the road here. So that's awesome.
Yeah, very close by the old original MG building.
Right.
But yeah, Wake and Bake. We caught her walking by the other day. So I told Lily we got to get her on here too. So I'm trying to snag her up for a podcast too. So
I think that's interesting. For years, I've heard from people how good it would be to have a bakery.
Yes.
I've also heard Italian restaurant. So
steakhouse.
It's an idea downtown. I think it would do well.
A little pasta place, like legit.
Yes.
Yeah. With the right breads.
Right.
Not Olive Garden.
Right.
No, not a chain, preferably.
Right. Something original.
Mom and pop,
you make the pasta in the back. It's hung up on the wood. The wood. The wood separators and all that.
Ratatouille in there.
Yeah. Maybe not any rats, but yeah. I get what you're saying.
Just the good rat.
Well, authentic, right?
Yeah. No, that would be good. Have you had like La Casetta in Newburgh?
I have
a little
not.
Italian spot down there. I've not had it either, but I've heard like numerous times about it being really good.
Oh,
as
you know what?
Authentic
I have been there. You're talking about on New Boulevard. I have been there. Yeah. You need to try Nino's in Greenville.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, Nino's is really good. Ottavola is also really good. It's not really Italian, but they do have some Italian dishes. That's really good in Greenville. Gotcha. But we have some good places here as well in Kinston.
We had a couple killer Italian spots in Columbus. Oh my God. So when I worked at the hotel down there, all those restaurants, all those like really nice restaurants in that little business area would come in and be like, because the business people go to the convention.
Right.
And they leave that, they go to the hotel bar till they can they start slurring their words a little. And they're like, all right, it's time to eat. And who do they ask? Where should we go eat? The servers that are serving them the happy hour drinks.
Right.
So all these restaurants would come in all the time and like they were like dating us. Like,
right.
If you send people,
right
to us, we'll bring you food and we'll give you all this stuff. So it was like a little referral program. It was amazing. And so then we got real smart real quick. We were like,
how can we get free food on this?
The Marcella's guy's hooking me out. He's giving me half off. And then they were like, I'll bring, what do you like?
How do
you like your steak?
And we were like, clients coming.
Yeah, we were like medium rare, ha. And then like legit, the dude turned around, came back like 2 hours with like fillets and asparagus. And so this is from a place called Hyde Park. You may have heard of it. Oh. It's a mega steakhouse in Columbus.
Oh, gotcha.
And they may have a couple around. It's a Cameron Mitchell spot, I think, who's traveled.
I've flown into Ohio. Yeah. In Cincinnati. Interesting airport.
The Natty, yeah.
Interesting. Everything's outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was outside. Yeah. I was like, who in the hell designed this? It was bizarre.
I'm pretty sure it was a Kentucky in the design.
It was like, God, that was like 15 years ago. I don't even know why I was flying in there, but I have not been to Ohio, and I don't know much about Ohio, but it seems like an interesting place.
Yeah.
I'd like to go. I don't know where to go. I mean, I've heard Cincinnati's not all that great. Yeah. Cleveland's the mistake by the lake. Don't go there. It's just factories. And
you got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up there.
The Rock and Roll Hall in Cleveland. That would be cool.
And the Pro Football Hall of Fame is like a day trip.
Right.
So,
but why did they put that in Cleveland?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I mean, is there a significant? I don't know. I'm not trying to diss Cleveland or Ohio.
It's just Cleveland. Don't worry.
Right. The mistake by the lake. I love that. How appropriate is that? When they had what was it? Municipal County the field before Progressive.
Yeah.
That's what they called
Municipal Stadium.
Yeah. Mistake by the lake because it was just not very good.
Well, have you seen that? No, it wasn't. Did you see? I'm trying to think what show it was. It might have been a 30 for 30 or a similar-ish show about the Browns leaving. And like when Odell was like pulling them out of there, it was about like that whole situation, the team and stuff. Yeah. And like I lived that. I was like a big Bernie. I had my little Bernie Kosar jersey.
Kosar.
Yeah. I followed Bernie.
When Eric Red on that team. Yeah. Cleveland had a pretty good. And
Ray Lewis.
What's his name was the coach? What's his name was the coach?
Oh, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
They were actually, you got to go back and look at that, dude. I'll find it and send it to you. But like, there were legit like something in the neighborhood like 14 or 16 eventual NFL head coaches on the Browns coaching staff the year before they moved to Baltimore.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and they were literally the favorites, pretty much to go to the Super Bowl from the AFC that year. Right. But then all that BS going on obviously just derailed that. But watching the recordings and the playbacks of like the fans destroying the stadium during the last game. So
the dog pound.
Dude, they went to the last game and it's Cleveland, so like they're just used to being like having miserable lives, and they all wore black to the game like it was a funeral.
Right.
And they ripped the seats out of the stadium and threw them on the field. I mean, people are crazy. They're crazy up there.
And it's like, man, you haven't won anything. It's not like you're holding on to this tradition of excellence, you know?
Right.
I don't know. Now they have what's his name? Who's the quarterback there? Mr. 25, 26.
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Mr. What is it? 25 times sexual assault accusations.
Right.
Man, he's racking them up. I don't think those are the type of numbers you want to keep compiling.
Yeah,
at some point it might be
sexual assault charges or accusations aren't really like Pokemon. You're not trying to catch all of those cases if you can help it.
You know, it's amazing. Like the NFL had such a just disdain for all that Me Too stuff, but as soon as one of their, I even remember Roger Goodell saying something about Donald Trump when that whole thing came out and how disgusting it was. But here he is paying somebody $250 million who's allegedly beat up or sexually assaulted 25 or 26 women separately. Sounds like not a good dude. I don't know.
It sounds like the perfect type of player the Browns would invest a lot or a significant part of their future.
Win.
Yeah. How are they going to?
Like, who's predicting them win?
They can't win. They're the Browns, dude. So I looked back and figured out that Cleveland was able to get the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame site because they claimed support from like some 50 musicians, including Michael Jackson and the Kinks. Never heard of the Kinks?
I've heard of the Kinks, yeah.
Okay.
You Really Got Me? It was a 60s song. You Really Got Me.
You got me because I didn't know.
It was. I believe so. You can look it up later.
And it said that it was also, so the
Michael Jackson was from Ohio. No, Indiana. Gary, Indiana.
Well, he must have like supported the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame going to Cleveland. That's what they said. And it says
they ain't going to Gary.
Yeah, he was like, listen, second best thing. We'll call it Cleveland.
Right.
But they said WMMS, which is probably like a rock station or something in Cleveland. Right. They got it down to Chicago, Philadelphia, and Cleveland. And then that radio station spurred 120,000 listeners to vote for Cleveland in a USA Today poll. And that's how they won.
Oh,
so it was actually, they rallied the support.
You know, locals. Cleveland did have this big thing like in the 80s for the United Way when they released 1 million balloons.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I do remember. Oh, my God. It was like the worst nightmare. It was like this great idea. Biggest balloon release. And then they all went and they went everywhere.
Yeah.
And they were picking up balloons for days. And
it was terrible. Like, didn't they have to shut down like airspace or something?
Right.
I think I saw like actually a Vice video about that or something. I was like, I had never heard about that. I lived there my whole life. I didn't learn about that event until I lived here. Which maybe, you know, like some people like to hide
kind of furthers that whole Steak by the Lake thing. Jerry Springer was what's going on in Ohio? Jerry Springer's the mayor of Cincinnati.
No, Jerry Springer's dead.
Well, he was. I know that, but I'm just saying he was. We got some. It's like, is Ohio the Florida of the Midwest? Yes. I don't know.
It's like
just discover something.
What is like? Is it the Mason-Dixon line? It's like the Florida north of the Mason-Dixon line. It's the melting pot. It's actually like one of the top test markets for companies, like restaurants and things like that, in the whole country because you'll get to test new things in Columbus before L.A., New York because they view it as such a wide, broad test market. It has such a wide spectrum of people from so many different places.
Well, Columbus is bigger than just Ohio State, so.
Yeah, it was at some point in time just Ohio State. But Ohio, like campus is now like a small portion.
I don't think most people realize how big it is. I mean, they've got an NHL team. Yeah. So I mean,
which is cool. That whole downtown area where they did that is super dope now. So like, in addition to that stadium, they built a baseball stadium right across the parking lot from the hockey arena.
Right.
So this whole area used to be like the state penitentiary.
Oh, wow.
And then it burned to the ground, and then they ended up tearing everything down. And the train station was where like the convention center is, and then the stadium was where the prison was. So they tore all this stuff down, and they slowly started building it back up. Now they've got like high-rise condo buildings and stuff there with like these nice green spaces in between them for you to come and hang out. And then it's right on the river. Right. And they put the baseball stadium in for the AAA team. Crazy, they improved the accommodations for the team because they were kind of in an older stadium.
Right.
They said, you want to stay in town? We'd love to build you a stadium right in our downtown. So they did that, put it right on the water.
And they stayed.
And interesting fact.
And they stayed.
Yes. Interesting fact too. That stadium opened the same year as new Yankee Stadium and actually won Best New Ballpark in America by Baseball USA. Kind of interesting.
That is
going up against new Yankee Stadium.
Right.
You don't have a chance of being a better new stadium than them theoretically, right? And then your AAA team in Columbus.
Right. That's pretty cool. Yes. That's pretty awesome.
They got
I do have a thing though. How do you take down Yankee Stadium? I don't even understand that shit.
Was that a big?
I've been there. I went there. I think I went to 2 or 3 games at Yankee Stadium, mid '90s.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's like, I don't know if you can't get any better than that. How do you do that? I'm a Braves fan, you know. But
like I'm a Cubs fan. Like, what would you like tear down Wrigley to build a new age stadium? Oh my god! May as well move the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
damn, they'll burn the damn city down. You do that.
I would say at least 40% of Cubs fans don't give a crap about the team. They just like the.
Oh man, aura. I've been to Wrigley. What years? A couple of years in a row. Went with this group with my dad, and he had a friend in the group. Anyways, I was lucky. I was like 20 at the time. They went to Boston one year and saw Pedro strike out 15 or 14. They played Texas Rangers when they just got A-Rod. They had Juan Gonzalez, Rafael Palmeiro, Pudge Rod. They had this stacked team.
Josh Hamilton.
This is before Hamilton, but this is a couple years before. This is like 2000, or 2001, and Pedro Martinez just 14 strikeouts. It was unbelievable. But anyways, my dad's friend he was a lobbyist for the Soft Drink Association. His best friend was a lobbyist for Budweiser. We had we got the box. Budweiser box, which was like either right next door to the Wrigley family box or it was like one over, but we were pretty much almost right behind home plate for years. We would go up there for like 2-3 games. You get there and the game starts at 1, right? We got off the plane. I remember and we took an early flight there. We got off the plane at 8:30. It takes an hour to get from O'Hare to downtown. And we get to the ballpark maybe about 10:30, and it is packed. It is packed. And I'm just like, where do these people work? This is on a Thursday. Yeah. And everybody's got a beer in their hand. And right across the street, you have the Cubby Bear Bar or the Cubby Bear. Yeah. And their drink there is Old Style, which is like, a cheap Budweiser. But it's it's a regional kind of deal. So you have a few Old Styles, man. That place was unreal. Mm-hmm. One of the years we went, Bonds hit his 53rd when he broke the record.
Yeah, he was within the rules.
Kind of. I don't know. I view that as, I saw a comparison the other day. Do you like baseball? Yeah. Okay. I'm sitting here talking about baseball. And they had a comparison between the top 4 years of Pedro Martinez versus Clayton Kershaw. You know who had better stats? And it was pretty close, but it was ultimately from, I think it was 97 to 2000 or 2001 for Pedro. And then, the top 4 years of Kershaw's. Pedro had better stats. Oh. And he did it during the height of the steroid era. Mm-hmm. You're not telling me that guy's not just one of the best pitchers of all time?
Or was he on steroids?
Pedro? I don't know, but I mean, he was like a lot like Maddox. Wasn't a big guy, but he could, unlike Maddox, he could throw a fastball. Yeah. But he relied a lot on movement too and changing speeds.
Yeah, that's true. He was good with the breaking ball. Another good thing he was good at throwing was 71-year-old bench coaches on the ground.
Right. You know that? Yeah, Don. He used to be the Cubs manager back in the day.
Yeah, way back.
Don. Golly, I can't remember
either.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Mattingly, but it's definitely not him because he's way younger.
No.
But yeah, the old wrinkly bald guy.
Yeah.
And it was that like benches clearing brawl with the Red Sox and Yankees, and he comes running at Pedro, and Pedro literally just like hits him with a little step and shuck, and
there you go,
right on his forehead.
Side swipe.
Freaking hilarious. We had
I remember when Jason Varitek cold cocked A-Rod that one year when he got up at his face and Varitek just knocked him out.
There was a good one last year, the year before too, at second base. Juan Batista got popped by some dude too, because that rumor is he's like kind of an asshole. Really? People don't like him. He's built one of those real tall players, right. And he slid into second, and it was one of those little shorter, not like the real short dudes, but it was like normal second baseman.
Right.
Dude slid in, they didn't like it, and dude or something was like really? Bam, and people were like, I can't believe Jose Bautista got hit, and the players come out there like he's kind of a dick. So
yeah, I know you're talking. That was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, that one's a little farther back. Yeah. They had a good brawl at second like last year. Somebody else, I can't remember who it is, but just two dudes.
Man, they used to just fight all the time. All the time in baseball. I remember hearing an interview of Doc Gooden talk about the 85, was it 85 or 86 Mets? Was it 86? Yeah, because Detroit won 85 or 84. Anyways, Doc Gooden said he was hanging out with Kevin Mitchell. You remember Kevin Mitchell? He was a outfielder, big-time steroid drug user.
Show me a cheater.
Everybody already knows about this. So, but Doc Gooden was saying one time that Kevin Mitchell, his fiance at the time, called him to the apartment. He got to the apartment, and as soon as they opened the door, Kevin Mitchell locked the door, had both of them at knife point with his girlfriend's cat. He was like heavily induced on drugs, mostly cocaine from what Doc Gooden was saying, and that he thought the SWAT team was outside the door going to kill them, and he was going to kill the cat, which actually ended up happening. And it's really sad, but they were talking about that season. He said one time they were fighting, they were playing Pittsburgh, and he said Doc Gooden was like, Kevin zoned in on this guy, some guy from Venezuela, rookie guy. They were in a fight, and Kevin grabs this guy and puts him in the headlock. He said, I had to pull Kevin off the guy because his eyes were rolling back. Kevin was trying to kill the guy, really trying to kill him. There's some crazy people that used to be in baseball. I don't know if you have those. Maybe you do. I don't know.
We had Aaron Hernandez just 10 years ago.
So, yeah.
Yes. Oh, dude.
I have not watched it yet. I have not watched it.
If you don't know, Jacques, about like maybe every 6 or 8 months, we'll make a random post out of the blue and be like, you know what I could go for? Someone needs to make a documentary about those Urban Meyer Florida teams and all that BS that was happening. Well, they made one.
And I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. I don't even know if I have Netflix anymore, but I need to
just pop a new trial for a couple days.
Is it?
You just need 7-day trial. It's worth watching. So I'm a Buckeye fan.
Right.
If there's anyone that hates the Urban Meyer era Gators more than anyone else in the world, it would be Buckeye fans, really. I mean, because they screwed it. They killed us in that. I went out to Tempe for that game where Ted Ginn returned the kickoff. Mm-hmm. And then they scored 7 more points the whole game.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the game, but I was like there.
Was that Troy
Smith.
Troy Smith, yeah. Heisman year,
yeah. And they just got blank pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that touchdown was offensive. It may have been a defensive touchdown. They scored 14 points. They were returning the opening kickoff.
They got crushed by LSU the year before too.
Yeah, I think back-to-back bad losses in the national championship to SEC teams.
That's when the SEC started that run of 11 years in a row of winning. It was LSU in 2006. That's what it was. Yeah.
You could almost say that Jamarcus Russell put the SEC on the map.
He did.
Just saying. Think about that.
In other ways,
just the college.
Do you know
stuff.
about his deal?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
You're talking about like his what his deal was with the Raiders?
Yeah.
A little bit.
When they went to training camp?
Yeah.
They went to training camp and they didn't feel like he was committed, so they gave him DVDs to watch of the defenses that they were going to scrimmage the next day. And the coaches said, hey, I want you to check out these defenses. I want you to understand what we're trying to do here. Watch these DVDs tonight. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. They come in, and the coach says, hey, watch the DVD. He said, watch the whole thing. He said, you got everything you need to know? He said, it's right up here. The DVDs were blank.
Yeah, there was like nothing on them
at all. There was nothing on them. They just wanted to see, is the guy actually doing the work, and he wasn't. That's the difference. Like, all you have to do is, like, the work. People don't show up for the work. That's the hardest part, right?
Yeah. Imagine being a first overall pick,
having all the physical talent. All you have to do is show up and
just plug yourself into the wall.
Throw it 60, 70 yards without even moving. I mean, it's unreal.
There's like this new series up there too called the Untold series, and one of those episodes is about Johnny Manziel, and it's very, 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 very similar to that.
You know, I wonder if that thing. I wonder, looking back on it, is that if he played everybody.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's what happened.
So the beauty of it and what they kind of go through on that show is like, spoiler alert, but I don't really care. He goes into his freshman year. They're like, God, the dude could just run around and play. Just put him on the field. Mm-hmm. And then what was awesome was they had like a no freshman talk to the media rule. So the whole time he's he's killing the world in the SEC. And they're like, sorry, he's a freshman. He can't talk to you. So they had like a legit good reason and excuse to just kind of like hold him and hide him. And that's what really got the whole thing going. It was actually the mystery and the allure of like, who is this kid that's killing the SEC? And the media actually blew it up because they couldn't get the story. Right. They couldn't get to him, so they just hyped it and hyped. And he listened and listened and listened. Imagine a young person listening to the hype surrounding them and then forgetting to
buying into it, doing it. Yeah. Oh my God!
Dude. You've got to literally put people that telling you you're great and people telling you you're a piece of shit in the same basket. Like, if you can do that, it makes it way easier to not listen to hate if you don't get so tied to love. But
people get tied up into. I think we're all guilty of this, but over sensationalizing things and just the hype train on stuff, man. Yeah. And they get so invested emotionally. It reminds me sometimes, especially the stuff we see on TV, of this book we all read when we were kids, Chicken Little. You know what I'm talking about? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Like, you see all this stuff, and you see, and it's amazing. You'll see people on Facebook, on social media. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And at some point, the sky doesn't fall. Right. Yeah. It's like the people in San Diego. Remember, 20 years ago, the comet's coming. Mm-hmm. Well, it came and they didn't go, and they all killed themselves. So, I mean, at some point you got to quit believing the sky is falling crowd.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe or like vice versa. Sometimes you might think that like it's never falling. Mm-hmm. But there's just way fewer people in that boat.
I always, what?
The eternal optimist still exists.
The funny thing is, I want to look at things, not necessarily, I'm not trying to be a contrarian all the time. I just want to look from a different perspective. Like, if we're all saying this, and what really got me into that was Iraq, Iraq War. I had friends go over there, didn't come back. People you grew up with, and I bought into the hype. Oh, we got to go. I was in my 20s. Right. Got to go over there. There's weapons of mass destruction. The sky is falling. Right. Well, there weren't any, or they were there, but where did they? Right. We never get these answers, and these people. That's not like, oops. I backed into the back of your car. Right. That's a big thing. A lot of people died. Yeah. And then tens of thousands of Iraqis died, and no one was ever held accountable. I mean, what's up with that? I just don't understand it. But off of that experience, that's why anytime I hear something, I'm like, is that really, I mean, maybe that makes you a little jaded, but I always ask questions like, I fell for this once. Why would I, am I the dumb one for continuing to believe these people? Right. Like, the conspiracy theory was there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Who generated that?
Yeah, probably the government.
The government, right? and then now they tell us other things, and we're just supposed to say, oh, get a free pass. But if that was a one-time case, that'd be one thing. But I mean, think about the Tuskegee experiment. Yeah. I mean, it's the same people, folks. I don't understand at what point we're going to start questioning more of what happens. So, just, little things like that.
Do you maybe got any quotes from local painters? Maybe have the house resprayed blue?
Oh, my gosh. I don't have time for new ones, man. What is going on in Hawaii?
I don't know, but like, have you seen the images of like where everything's burned except for everything that's blue?
Right.
In the image.
Right.
That's strange, right? And then have you seen the thing where the laser goes across a bunch of colors and it immediately ignites the different colors, but when it goes back and forth over the blue, it doesn't ignite.
Right.
Wavelengths.
But is that real? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Here's what I do know. I
saw it, but I saw it on the internet.
The first thing people will say after hearing that, like, oh, these guys are crazy. But are we? I mean, think about this. The story is that a hurricane in the Pacific, 800 miles south of Hawaii. What is hurricanes known for?
Generally, a lot of
wind and a lot of water.
Yeah, the anti of fire.
Right. Now they have a forest fire there.
Uncontrollable.
And they say it didn't burn down Oprah's house. Wow. Or Jeff Bezos' house. They won't let these people back in. These people are like, why won't they let us go to our property? And have you ever seen a situation like this where they have a hurricane and people aren't allowed to go back to their property?
Right.
But when things don't add up and you ask a question, like if someone says 1 + 1 is 3 and you're like, no, it's not. Please provide evidence. Mm-hmm. How am I the crazy person?
Right. They're like, no, you prove that it's not 3.
Right.
Like, whoa, I didn't make
bizarre world. Claim. I mean, how narcissistic. Exactly. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it. Yeah. My thing, I always like to look for things you have to disprove, right? For the most part. I don't believe in a lot of these conspiracy theories, but I do have questions about how things have gone and what things that have gone on or things that happened, and I just want answers, right? Yeah. So one thing I have, right, is if you believe in science, right, that the Earth is spinning on a 23-degree axis, right? So it's not 100. It's 23 degrees is the tilt. We're spinning, right? About 17,000 miles an hour. We're spinning around the sun. Well, the sun's going through the galaxy. The sun is going like this because we're all moving, right? Sun's going like this. We're going around the sun. All the planets are going around the sun, right? Yep. Every planet and every star and every galaxy is doing the same thing. Everything's moving. That's what science says, right? Yeah. Okay. Everything is moving away from each other in different directions. It's like me driving from here to Goldsboro, right? Mm-hmm. And everything driving in a different direction. Okay, so get this. If we're flying through the galaxy in space at 23,000 miles an hour around the sun, going that way, we're just going. How do I see the same stars at night that, cave paintings from 15 to 20,000 years ago, Polaris, Orion's Belt, how are we seeing the same stars?
How are they in the same, orientation?
That'd be like driving from here to Goldsboro and seeing Kinston the whole time. Like, I don't know. And now I'm not. So automatically, I've asked people this question before. They're like, so you're saying that space is not real? That is not what I'm saying. I'm asking a very simple question. If we're going, and I believe we are, how do we not see different stuff in the sky?
Yeah, like how do we not get to like a side angle of Orion?
Right.
We're still on profile.
Well, no, how are we not seeing way different stuff?
Right. Well, like you see what I'm saying though. Like if we're going this way and it's right there, in 1,500 years we're going to be over here. Now look at that same thing. Like wouldn't the sculpture, wouldn't that perception be different? And
wouldn't it be different?
And then wouldn't those stars be growing farther apart?
Wouldn't it be different? I don't know. Here's another question. Here's question number 2. A couple months ago, I was watching the. I was in a. It was more probably about February, March. I was at a doctor's office, and just something was on the news. They had the little news thing going on. They had the coldest weather event in Vermont, or it might have been New Hampshire, right, in American history. That's been recorded, right? And it was like negative 78 degrees. Negative 78 degrees or something, right? That's cold.
Yeah, it's very cold.
The camera quit working. The camera quit working at negative 20. The camera quit working, and this is the most advanced. This is recent. This is the most advanced cameras that they have to monitor weather. And because it was so cold, negative 20, it quit working, right? So in space, it's negative 280 degrees.
So they say. You've been told.
It is.
Right.
It is. Sure. I mean, I believe that.
Right.
How do we have photos and videos from 1969 moon landing?
Yeah.
And we can't, in negative 280 degree weather in space, but we can't, I mean, 60 years later, we can't get a
sub 25.
Right. I don't, and I'm not saying that people are like, well, you don't believe we went to the moon. I'm not saying that. That's not I'm asking a question. How do we have a camera? And there's probably a legitimate answer, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know these things.
Like, for me, the easiest way to dispel the potential rumor that we maybe didn't go to the moon is just use that same telescope that finds those things that are like light years away and aim it at the landing spot and just show me the divot.
Or the
tracks
right?
from the tracks from the rover. It should be very easy to zoom into the moon and show me.
Right.
Here's exactly where. Why can't we be shown like where on the moon? There should be artifacts of that, right? The landing where it was when they blasted back off. Did they not leave a mark? Show me that. It should be very simple.
Right.
The
flag's still there, right?
I don't know. Did they leave it?
India went there. Did you know this?
I've heard about this.
India went there last week.
Yeah. Did you see the picture that they sent back?
I did see the picture. No, I didn't see the picture of Earth, but
they sent back a picture. It was like
I saw a picture of the thing landing.
Yeah.
Did you see that picture?
I did not see that one. No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, so folks, I do need you to just Google it, and I don't know what you think, but you Google this, and I will show this picture to Zach. Okay, I will show you this picture. This is the legitimate picture. Does that not look like maybe early 90s Power Ranger animation?
It looks like a Windows 95 computer game.
I don't know what that's what the country of India. This is what the country of India has put out. I don't know, folks.
It looks realistic to me.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
It definitely doesn't look like it's floating on an older, different image with
I just don't understand it.
But yeah, India sent back on this meme that I saw a picture of Earth, and Earth looked like a deep dish pizza, and the moon was going around, or the sun was traversing around the flat circular Earth. That was the picture.
Oh, I gotcha.
Someone said, "Oh, did you see India landed on the moon?" Mm-hmm. People were like, "Oh yeah." And they were like, "Check out the picture they just sent back of Earth," and it was like Earth as a pizza,
right,
with the sun going in a little flat Earth thing. But that was their image back. It was really well done.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was
awesome.
AI, but
congratulations.
Oh, it was good.
Did they land on the moon?
I don't know if anyone's landed on the moon.
I believe they have.
I've been told that we did.
Right.
Like I said, you could dispel the rumor very quickly by zooming in that thing that can see like way out there to here and show me the tracks of the rover driving around. They got to be there.
But why don't we go back?
Prove it again. It's easy.
Right. I mean, why can't we live stream?
Did we land? So my point is,
why can't we live stream a shot back? It's 280,000 miles, I believe.
We have
250,000 miles from here to the moon.
Do we not have live images of Mars?
Yeah, I want to. You know what I've never been able to see. I wanted to see. You know how many we have thousands of satellites,
Yes.
right? I've always wanted to see that picture, Earth with all the satellites.
Yeah. Yeah, where
no one's ever taken that picture. I don't know why NASA they have satellites up there that are in a little bit more further out, right?
Yeah, they could see the other satellites.
Why can't we see those pictures? Have you ever seen a picture of Earth with all the satellites? No. Have you ever tried Googling it?
No.
So I don't know. People are going to think we're crazy.
Just how dare you question anything?
I don't.
It's just questions.
But, the thing,
I'm just asking.
But I do believe in that stuff. I do believe that, like I took astronomy when I went to college and I took a few classes. I loved it. It was great. It was fascinating. But I know that space is cold. And now you're telling me the most advanced photographic equipment we have in 2023 can't even operate below negative 20 degrees.
Fair
but
enough.
We're taking live video and streaming it in 1969 from the moon.
It back. Yeah, and streaming it back.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Who was taking the video? When they get off and they're like, oh, there he is. He landed. Who took the video? Who took the video? Who put the camera there?
They may have pre-flown a crew there, but not told anyone.
Right.
Right?
I don't know.
It's just I'm asking. I don't know.
So I always just like to ask questions just to get people to think about it. Doesn't make sense. Maybe it does. Maybe someone could say, hey, man, this is how they did it. And be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. I'm glad I know. Yeah. Now somebody filled in the blank. We had a guy come to Rotary. I think it was last year. And he was former Secret Service. He was a former Secret Service. He came in. He was in the Secret Service during JFK, but he was not there that day. And he said that, but he knew he was very young into it, and he got out. He actually was on the detail. I forget the guy's name, but he was on the detail of Reagan when Reagan had the assassination attempt. Mm-hmm. And so he came to Rotary and spoke, and he said, look, I'm not political. I can tell you about my time in the Secret Service, but we don't get political. That was our thing. We don't get involved in who do we like, who do we not like. It's a job. We're there to protect the president, vice president, like we should. So I asked him, I said, what is one question that you want to know? Right? That's all I asked him. After we were all done, I said, what was one question about January 6th? Right? Because I wanted his perspective. I mean, it just happened. We're getting all these hearings on it for years now.
Yeah.
What was his perspective of January 6th? He said he had one question. How is it possible that a group of a couple hundred, 300 some people, right? I think 300 or 400 got into the Capitol building, unarmed, mostly middle, older age people, unarmed, out of shape, right?
Yeah.
He said, why were they not stopped? Yep. Why did the Capitol Police allow these people? Just imagine if these were terrorists.
Yeah. Maybe men ready and trained to fight.
Right. I don't know.
With the intent to seek and destroy.
But we've seen the footage, and these people were just allowed to walk in. You had police, law enforcement opening the doors.
Almost like a tour.
Right. I don't understand. How is this allowed? Why didn't they stand up? And if these people were attacking the Capitol, why didn't they use lethal force? I don't understand this.
I did not get that at all.
And that's the question he had. He said, why either they...
How does it get to that point?
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
So, the theory is that either they stood down because how many, that was the summer before, you had all this anti-police rhetoric coming from Nancy Pelosi, people like that. So one theory is maybe they stood down to prove their point. Like, you want to defund us?
Yeah, go ahead. Here you go.
Here you go. Fend for yourselves. Yeah. I mean, imagine you do a job and the people that are paying you to do the job sit there and admonish you on national constantly. TV all the time.
Like, while you're literally, that's the greatest
protecting their life, right?
Yeah. The greatest thing for me is literally the hypocrisy of that same exact thing of both with public school systems in this state, X are great, says governor that sends his kids to charter school or private school or whatever. Right, and it's like, defund, get rid of guns, says politician that's riding an armored vehicle with 4 armed guards.
Right.
Well, then,
why don't you start?
Looks like you can get rid of 4 right now.
Right.
And an armored vehicle. It's just,
if you believe in it so much.
Yeah. It's like flying in a jet. One person for 8 hours to tell you that you need to be careful because the way you live is kind of like tough on the environment.
Eating too much red meat. It's like, what does that even? I mean, these people are psychopaths, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just.
I'm gonna fly on my private jet to make sure that
tell you that you shouldn't have a car.
Yeah, you don't eat at McDonald's more than once a week.
It's the craziest. Don't ask questions.
Right.
Don't question it. Just go with it. Fine. They have the one thing that I know about the government and pretty much all governments is they care about their people, and you never should have to question anything they do because they have your best interest at heart all the time. Like every type of government, they all seem to always take care of their people first.
It would say, I mean, I would believe that, right?
Yeah. That's what they tell you in school.
Right, the government.
The indoctrination.
Most people are like, oh my God, these guys are crazy. No one's anti-anything. Just asking questions.
Just having fun.
My thing was, I'm not anti-science and I'm not anti-space. Yeah. I'm a logical person. So if you're telling me it's negative 280 degrees in space, and it's also camera cannot work in below negative 25 degrees.
60 years later.
How is that? How did that happen? If someone could, and there's probably someone, hey, they use this and this. Oh,
gotcha.
There you go.
Cool. Very easy explanation.
Right.
I kind of like have that same thing too, where like we do know all this stuff about space, but like we don't know that much about our oceans.
Right.
They're right here.
Right. That's some scary stuff to go down there.
But it's like you would think that that'd be a really easy thing to do. Let's figure that out. What's going on in our oceans? We're still finding creatures that we didn't know about, but we're like kind of weird. We got this camera that can see like 4,000 light years away or something crazy. But show me the tracks on the moon. Easy. Show me the tracks.
Right.
Is the easiest way to dispel even like a glimpse of a rumor. And with all the satellites that are buzzing around out there, you're telling me we can't get one to have a good clean view of like where they did land? Do we know, like, is there a GPS on the moon rock where we're like, all right, it was right there in that little region, the latitude, longitude of the moon? Does the moon have latitude, longitude lines?
I don't know.
What is like the location position?
I'm sure they've had to map. They've mapped it out. I'm sure they have some kind of.
That's what I mean. Like, where on the man of the moon
was
it? Up here? Sorts. Was it down here? Like, where was it at the? So it probably wasn't at the poles.
When you look at the cheese at night, is it that
that's what I want to know.
The big hole, the little hole?
Do we land in his eye? Do we land on his chin? I don't know.
Ooh, I never thought about that. The man in the moon. Yeah.
Where at? Yeah. Where are we? And why isn't that like you would think growing up as a kid in America, you'd be like, see the man in the moon?
Right.
See the left nostril? Like, that's where we landed, like the thing. Or like over there. Or we landed on the dark side that we never see. I don't know where we landed.
We didn't do that.
Did we land on this side or that side of the moon?
How do we never see a certain side? So
it rotates and revolves at the same rate.
I don't know if that's even possible, though.
So they're saying that as it goes around the Earth, it takes 28 days to go around the Earth, and it takes 28 days for it to rotate. So that while it goes around, it's rotating, and that's why you're always seeing it. So it's turning around as it goes around, but what's facing the Earth is the same every time. That's what we're told.
But is that possible with the size differential?
That's what we're told.
Okay, so there's another one. It's like it's like talking to the Cheshire Cat. You get ask one question, you get another question like a riddle. Like
Well, I'm with that, but like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, how does something round that's going around us always look exactly the same? And for thousands of years, that speed has not accelerated nor decelerated.
Right.
You would think it would do one or the other. Are the planets? Let me ask you this:
right?
Is the sun speeding up or slowing down in its movement?
I don't know.
Is it static?
I would tend to believe what we've been. A lot of that physics stuff.
You would think as it grows, it would either go faster or slower. There's more pull.
So
there.
I think we're at the point where the sun, we're going to grow to as the sun gets older, it gets bigger,
right?
And then it collapses in on itself. So I think we're like still in the halfway point. Of our
it
sun
has
cycle.
to become a supernova, I think, before it.
Right.
By then, it would theoretically expand beyond where the Earth is.
Oh yeah,
So we would be absorbed in.
Oh yes.
I wonder how many planets were closer than Mercury that have been absorbed. Like, were we the fourth rock from the sun?
I don't know.
Like when it was really teeny tiny and it's expanded to this
there
side,
is a,
did it eat anything?
There is a. I heard, if you know Neil deGrasse, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a physicist and space guy, but he's talking, and he was talking about the they call it the Christmas tree light, Christmas light kind of thing. Or is our light on and somebody else's light is off? Is that why we didn't meet other people?
Right.
Is that light off? Did that disconnect before we could meet them? It is very interesting what he was talking about. But I've also heard Bill Nye say that we're in a closed system.
What does that mean?
Right. We're in a closed. Well, he said we're in a closed system that we can't leave Earth.
Okay.
So, and then when they're asked at NASA, why can't we go back to the moon? They say they destroyed that technology. But can't we replicate that technology? Are they talking about that? I remember when we had those Apollo missions. They had those Titan rockets. It was one big one. You were at the top. Yeah. And then they came out with the, I forget what they call those, but there was the Endeavor, the Challenger, when it was the full module. Mm-hmm. It was like more of a plane instead of just a module.
Like a pod.
Right. Where it had the two boosters and then it would come back to Earth and slide in.
Yeah.
Like the ones we grew up watching.
With the little heat plates on the bottom.
Yeah.
The entry and stuff.
Yeah. So like those could go into orbit. And the Titans could go to the moon, but those couldn't go to the moon.
Right.
Why couldn't they go to the moon?
Yeah, so
I'm not understanding that part.
Why don't we just there's gotta be a spot on the moon where you could land with landing gear. And go again. It's pretty flat from the pictures that they showed. I mean, the video from 1963 showed a pretty flat area.
Right.
Could probably land a space shuttle there and take it back off. We do it at other places, like we did. Have they sent one? Yeah, they've taken off from Mars and made it back. Why can't we make it back to? If we can go to Mars and come back from Mars,
dropped the payload on Mars. I don't think we went.
How do we have Mars rocks here?
Do we have Mars rocks?
That's what they tell us.
Did that happen?
I think so.
Who in the world?
I'm pretty sure. Unless I made that up, but you went with it, right? So it sounds like it's a pretty real thing.
Right. I don't know. How did we get Mars rocks?
Mars rock samples.
But if you could ever just sit there and think about things that.
Oh no, they're trying to do it in 2026.
Okay.
We're close. But my point is, they have enough technology to have a proposed date to do a sample return mission from Mars.
Right.
But we can't go back to the moon.
Right.
But the Indians can go back to the moon, like the Indians.
Right. Right. The country of India. Yeah. They can go to the moon, but we can't. Why don't we have the capability? That's what I never understood. They ended the space program as we knew it. And that was in the Bush, right?
Right. Yeah.
I know Obama gets the heat because officially went out in like 2009, but it was already ready to be dismantled.
Yeah, it wasn't doing well.
So when we're at war right now with Russia via Ukraine, right? Russia's our enemy. That's the only way we get to the space station right now.
How does that work?
I mean, so who thought that was a good idea? We have people stuck in the space station that can't get down because the Russians are the only way we can't even get. I don't understand.
It's just a couple of them, Jacques.
A couple of what? Things we don't understand?
Astronauts.
Just a couple. I'd want to be, hey man, I don't know. I'd never want to go to space.
That's too scary. I don't have enough control.
There? Yeah.
I don't.
Did you watch the thing in 2015 when the guy jumped from like
like a super high?
Yeah, the Red Bull.
It's nuts.
Have you seen the story about that?
I think so.
You should rewatch that. It's pretty interesting, but he was pretty much as high as you can go.
Yeah, and still come back.
Right.
Falling.
And it was like an 8-minute descent.
Free falling for 8.
Yeah, and it was like 800 miles an hour. So that's Mach. I mean, you're hitting, I think 750 miles an hour is Mach speed. So, I mean, he hit that. He broke the sound barrier.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Is there a pop when you do that as a person? Like your body?
Dude. No, which I'd never want.
Imagine experiencing like a sonic boom while falling yourself from like, I don't know the technical term, but about the stratosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're up there. I think it was 100,000 feet in the air. Golly. Or something like that. I can't remember, but it was something you want to rewatch. I saw it maybe 5 or 6 months ago. I saw it on YouTube and rewatched it again, but it was quite interesting, like how fast that guy was going. And also it was interesting to see what he saw when he was up there.
Yeah. I wonder if he was able to see all the satellites.
I don't know.
It'd been cool if he would have taken a picture of it. Or if like his GoPro, because I'm sure he was sponsored by GoPro, would have captured that.
Right. Right.
You should see a bunch.
I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to go get my Kings, right? Get my
Perfect
fried chicken.
That's cool. I'm going to go to a downtown Kinston Revitalization board meeting now.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. What time does that start?
5:30.
Yeah. Cool.
Pretty excited. So hopefully that gave you something to think about over your Labor Day weekend. So if you're just maybe thinking of just zoning out, hanging out all weekend, and
think about crazy things,
trying to turn your mind off.
Answer the questions.
Yeah, if you don't mind, like going ahead and detailing those answers out in the comments, letting us know, we'd appreciate it, and then we'll come back.
As you can tell, we're not very smart. So I mean, if someone has some basic understanding of this stuff, I'll just shut up and I'll be going my way and be like, okay, that's how it's done.
Yeah. Now, on a very serious note, if you have experience in this stuff or you do know a lot about it and you want to come on the pod and
we really I want to
genuinely fill us in on this stuff,
tell me how all that works.
You're a prime guest, like top of the line. We'll put you ahead of the list and get you in here because we genuinely want to know stuff.
All right.
And we're just asking questions with smiles on our faces because we see humor in everything, and it's fun. To me, and I think to Jacques too, it's exciting to just experience other ideas and thoughts and thought processes. And
right.
It doesn't have to be correct, but it expands what we think of.
You want one more?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's one more question. And this is for our friends in the flying industry, people that fly on airplanes, whether they're big airplanes, small airplanes. Here's the question I have. If you're an airplane pilot, and there's a lot of them out there that around here, and you're flying from here to Miami, right? And you set the altitude, right? Because it's based on horizons, right? You set your altitude. What calculation do you use to determine how to adjust your altitude based on the curvature of the Earth? Ask a pilot, have they ever had to adjust for the curvature of the Earth?
Yeah. It's interesting because
if it's curving, you have to adjust your...
Right.
You can't keep your altitude the same because you have to.
And do the flaps? How much flap action are you getting to continue to? Because you're technically flying down as you go anywhere. As you're going long distances, you're technically flying with your nose down. Right. You're never flying flat. But if your balancer always down. Says that you're actually level.
How's that?
How are you actually going around something that's round?
Yeah.
That's a good question, too. Pilots?
Well, not saying that it's not round, but what do you have to, and if not, why not? That's what I want to know.
Right. Yeah, is it off of sea level, or is it off of feet from the ground directly below me?
Right. How do you develop?
I think it might be off sea level.
But mechanically, what I'm saying, not in these fancy computerized, and some of these smaller Cessna, the small little,
non-autopilot.
Yeah. How do you account for all that mechanically? Because I think for every 10 miles, it's 8 feet.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't. That's something I heard. The curve for every 10 miles, you have to adjust 8 feet. Right?
Makes sense. Super interesting. Yeah.
Now people think we're crazy. Crazier than before, right?
Yeah, why not? I mean, once you're there, what's the point? May as well. Well, cool. We got to jump, so we got to get out of here. I got to scram down to this meeting. Really appreciate you jumping in and checking this one out. This is episode 53. Jacques Passailaigue. A couple of questions for you, things to think about. And if you're hanging out this long, we're going to find out if anybody really watched to the end. But I got a really cool pod coming up next week. Don't know if it's going to be the next podcast, but in the next several episodes, you're going to get a podcast with me, Brooks Poole, and Noah Peace.
What?
I know.
Is that cousin to Noah Justice?
That is several monikers. Noah Peace, Noah Justice.
Relation to I'm in jail?
I'm in jail.
Iman jail?
Potentially jail? War and Peace.
I have not heard that one yet.
Yeah,
I've not met them yet.
Stacey Heath and Brooks Poole together for an episode. We'll be recording it next week, so you heard it here first.
That's awesome.
Pretty excited for it. Just here, having conversations with anyone, bringing people together.
Both of them are clients, too. So I like both people.
Perfect. And friendly reminder, too, if you want to jump on the video ad boards here at 300 North Heritage, like Jock and Go Eco, you can jump on these awesome 70-inch sharp screens that we have up in the display, up in our transom windows. So when you're rolling through downtown, you get caught by that light right by Sugar Hill. Feast your eyes over at the old Parrot store. Check out those video ad boards. Some really cool companies on there doing really cool things. Like we mentioned before, Big Orange Containers, Heath Harrison and Farm Bureau Insurance. Kristen Goyette's been up there for most of the summer as well. Go Eco, Morgan Printers.
Awesome.
I'm going to forget someone, so shame on me. But really
We've
awesome.
We've gotten a lot of run from that. People are really impressed with what you got. They've seen it. They like it. And I think other people have gotten business out of it. So
awesome. Yeah, we have seen some of that for sure. Right. For sure. So, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you checking this out. Episode 53. We'll catch up with you on episode 54.